Good morning, everybody. Blaine Austin here at Sewing Machines Plus, and happy Thursday. We are got a great show for you lined up today. We have some good guests here today, too, guys.
We do.
Our very first guest this morning is going to be Angela Wolf.
Woo!
We're gonna bring Angela on. We're going to talk all about some Kai scissors because she is an ambassador for Kai, and she actually has some of her own signature scissors. They have her name on them. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that Kai did that for her. But we're going to talk about some of her favorite scissors and let y'all know those are the ones to get. And we also have Grace is coming on this morning, and we have Laurel Ersnosnik going to be on, and Laurel is going to talk all about the TrueCut, and we're going to talk about the rotary cutter, some of the rulers and things that they have. Today's show is all about cutting, and so we wanted to kind of go out. I wanted to pick some of my favorite cutting tools, and by far the Kai scissors. We just love those things. So I was like, who better to come on and talk about them than Angela? And then we were talking about the rotary cutters and all those things, and thought about how awesome the Grace TrueCut product is. And then I'm going to talk about a new product. It is from Reliable, and it is, if you want to look over my right shoulder over here, you might even see it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'm going to demonstrate it for you today, but it is an electric cordless handheld rotary cutter. And this thing is bad to the bone. I'm telling you, y'all are going to love this thing. And we're going to show you how some cool things that you can cut. And so I'll be kind of demonstrating that for you this morning. And we're going to have some call-in specials, and we got some great things going on. So before we get too started into the show, though, I've got to say a big shout out to some of the SMP Nation out there. We got Debbie Dans over in New Jersey. So good morning, Debbie. Or no, it's actually good afternoon for her, isn't it? And we have Janet Pess in Tennessee watching this morning. Aaron Potts in Ohio watching. Stacy Leeds in Colorado. And Renee Bolton down in Florida. So good morning, good afternoon to all of you. And Fuzzy Face Place says, would love some Kai scissors.
They are really good. They're the best.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
Really are.
You know what's interesting? And, I know that Kennedy, you've probably experienced this already.
Yes.
Because you're doing projects and things. But many of y'all probably are going to say, exactly what I'm talking about when I say this. But if you've ever cut fabric and things, and you've had a pair of, I'm going to call them the orange handle Walmart scissors, I guess would be the way to say it.
Yes.
They have the orange handle, plastic handle, and they're, has anybody ever had some of those scissors that you maybe bought at Walmart, Kmart, Target, any of those places that have the orange on them? Those were really, really popular. Chime in right now if you've had a pair of those and let me know. But if you've had those, Yolanda is saying yes. So Sherry's saying yes. And you've used those. You've cut some fabric with them. Tons of orange, Linda Brooks is saying. And then you get a good pair of scissors. And I'm not saying those are bad pair of scissors, okay? But if you get what I call a kind of a higher end scissor and use it, it is going to blow you away. It is absolutely, there's so much difference of cutting with one of those pairs versus a Kai scissor or a Ginger or something that's a known name that is really a handcrafted nice scissor. And so I never had experienced that in my life before until I got into the sewing business. And, I was just blown away by how awesome the scissors are. And it just makes you want to go buy a pair just to use around the house, even if you don't use them for fabric.
Yeah.
Look at, she says, Ann Philback says, my husband wanted to borrow my Kai. I said, absolutely not. Yeah, I've heard that, Ann, I've heard that before. That was fighting words when they said, hey, can I use your scissors? So I totally get it, because I in my hobby, I do radio control airplanes. And when we would build our airplanes, we use this heat shrink plastic covering that you cover the airplane with and heat it out, and it shrinks it and makes it, tight around the balsa wood. And to cut you have to cut the film, or the plastic film. You have to cut it out kind of close to the shape that you're wanting to do. And it takes a really good pair of scissors, or you use X-Acto knives and things, but you have to have a really good pair of scissors. And I remember trying to cut it with the orange handles, and it would always jag it and not do good. And I finally got a good pair of scissors. I was blown away by how really good that it actually, does. So I totally get it. I don't use my scissors for anything but cutting the covering. So I get it as far as the fabrics too. So, but all right, guys, I want to talk a little bit about next week's show. And yeah, Belinda's saying, hubby knows not to touch my scissors. I'll bet y'all, like I said, those are fighting words, aren't they? So next week's show, guys, we are having what we're calling our live auction. And there's a couple rules that we're putting in place that you have to abide by to be able to be in the auction. One of those is you've had to make a purchase with Sewing Machines Plus. And the reason we're doing that is because we're feeling like this is a very special event. It's a VIP event. And we're having to go through a lot of measures to make this happen. So we want to make sure that it's just, exclusive to people who have made a purchase with us. And, that way you can get in. So Kyle will probably put the link up in the chat. And that link, you can click on that link. It takes you to a product page on our website. Fill out all that information complete. And once you do that, we will be emailing you back a link to get in the actual show. And that link, once you get into that, you hit that link, you'll have to fill out another form to get into the show, kind of to register, so to speak. And then we're going to share a number with you, a phone number. Now, this phone number, we're going to actually share it to you today. And we're going to test it out this morning. If y'all want to try to play along with us. So the phone number we're going to give you is you're going to be able to text to that number, and you're going to be able to text your bids to that number. And Kyle is going to be monitoring that next week. And as those bids come up, he's going to tell me what the bid is, and then I'll be able to say what the current bid is, what the high bid is so far. And that's kind of the way we're going to do it. Everything that we're going to send you out on Friday of this, is it this week, Kyle? Friday. Tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow, everybody who is signed up and registered for the auction, we're going to send you a list out tomorrow, email it to you, and it's going to show you everything that's in the auction. And every machine will have a lot number. So that way, there may be two machines that are the same, style or brand or model number. And, if there's two exactly the same model, we'll have a lot, be like a lot 1 and 2. So you'll know there's a difference between them. And a lot of them, there's only one machine. And so there's going to be, and we have about, I think, a little over 50 machines that'll be on the show next week in the auction. And and when I tell y'all, there's going to be, if you want to get buy a machine at some really good savings, this is going to be the show for you. Now, all these machines, and let me tell you a little bit about the machines. Some of them were used in like events or in our classroom. Like Kennedy has maybe used some of them in some of her videos and things and demos. So some of them are like, open the box, we've used them a couple times, they put right back in the box. Some of them were models that were on our retail store's floor, like for demos, like for demonstration purposes and to show on the sales floor. And some of them have been on there for a couple years, and they've been, demoed. Some of them may have quite a few stitches. Some may not have many stitches at all. Some of them don't have boxes. Some do still have the box. And so, but we're going to make sure that everything, I'll have all the accessories that came with it. Everything that is sold goes through the service center prior to us shipping it to you. And if it doesn't have the original box, we're going to let you know it doesn't have the original box. But what we do is we do what we call a repack. And Chris Cooney and his team in the service department, they put them in a box, and they put all these, I forgot what you call them, Kyle. Instapacks.
Yeah, they kind of.
Yeah, it's an Instapack. You put in it around the machine and it expands all around it and packs it in. So they'll be shipping everything in Instapacks if it doesn't have the original box. So that's kind of the way it's going to work. There's going to be some really, really great deals for people in this. If you want to bid, but we're going to give you the list ahead of time. So if you see something in there you're really interested in, that way you can kind of put your eye on it and then bid on it. So that's kind of how it's going to work. We don't know how fast it'll go. And I tell you, I love the video. Whose husband did that?
That was Celeste. Celeste Wall.
Celeste Wall. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Celeste Wall's husband. They sent us a video of him doing an auctioneer thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wish he was here. But I don't think we're going to have to do it like that because it's not going to go that fast because it's going to be coming in through text messaging. I don't think
If
y'all
they're
gonna,
fast though,
yeah.
then that'll be where
I don't think y'all gonna have to worry about me, practicing my auctioneering.
I think you'll have to just do it, just
to see if I can do
Yeah.
it. I don't know if I can talk that fast. That's pretty.
I'm sure.
He was awesome, by the way. Celeste, tell your husband that was an awesome job. I wish we had that video where we could show it real quick.
Yeah,
Do we have that? See if we can get that video. I'd like to show it because it was really good. That's how it's going to work. So, Kyle, do we have that number ready?
Yes,
All right, so we're going to do a test right now. If everybody wants to participate in it, and you never know, we may give something away. Just who knows. So what I want everybody to do, I want everybody to text to this number, and I'm going to tell you what to text, but I'm going to give you the number first. So do we have the number, Kyle?
Right now.
So Kyle is putting the number on. You can put it on the screen?
Yep, I'm going to highlight it.
All right, so Kyle's going to put the number on the screen, and don't do it yet. So there's the number, everybody. It's 760-278-1440. So you see the number on the screen. So what I want to do, I want everybody to text message the very first text that comes through with my favorite drink on it. We're going to give you a prize. So y'all do it right now.
Go.
And Kyle's monitoring the chats.
Got one.
So we already got one that quick.
I got the phone number.
All right. So we don't know who it is.
So text. Oh.
Someone said beer. That's not correct. Dr. Pepper, not correct.
Not correct.
Nope.
What's the correct answer, Kyle?
Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew.
Mountain
All right, so-
Dew.
Someone said coffee as well.
So whoever texts Mountain Dew, what's the last four?
Water. The last four of the 0785.
0785 is the last four of the phone number. Go ahead and text us right now your real name.
Yeah.
And so that way, but we're going to give you a prize. We're going to give you a $100 gift card to Sewing Machines Plus just for playing along with us this morning. And but if y'all want to text just to test it out real quick, go ahead and just write in the word test and text. And Kyle's watching over there, but that's how our bid's going to be. So if you want to bid, you saw how fast that was. I mean, you're going to be able to come in pretty fast with your bids, and we'll be able to tell you what the bids are going to be. So it's going to be.
Texted that person back. You won. What is your name and address? We can ship.
All right. So yeah,
So
he
we
just
need your email.
we just need your email address so you can text that back to Kyle. He just texts you. So anyway, great stuff this morning to start out. But guys, let's get this show rolling, and I'll talk a little bit more about the auction again at the end of the show. And but I want to bring in one of my good friends. Let's bring in Angela Wolf, everybody.
Woo.
Hi.
Hey, Angela.
Oh my
how
gosh,
are you?
Blaine. I text so fast and I did not get it.
I actually saw hers. I think.
He
Put her name. I think.
yeah, you put your name right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got your text.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
it's gonna
Blaine,
be
it's
pretty-
so nice to see you.
Yeah,
and I
good
see
to see you. So I got to ask you, are you getting ready, you and Wynn, for a big fishing trip on the 4th?
Well, there's a lot of noise behind me today because Wynn's outside renovating a boat. And in my last live show on Brother, all we heard was a huge bang, and he still has all of his limbs. So we're doing good. No, we're going to the beach. We're going to the beach
Okay.
for the 4th with my nephews. And you?
Oh, well, that's good. I'm just going to be, I'm taking a just a low key day. I think Michelle and I are just going to lay around the pool with the dogs and maybe cook out.
Perfect.
So
I'm all for that.
not going to do much. We were already talking about, we're like, we just need to kind of have a chill day. So, but hey, I'm
Blaine.
so happy you're on the show. And before we get into talking about the Kai scissors, because I know you're an ambassador of Kai, and I was telling everybody you got your own printed logo on your own scissors, and that's really cool. But we have the same model you have. It just doesn't have the Angela Wolf on it. But we're going to talk a little bit about your favorite scissors and kind of share why you like them. But before we get in there, I want to talk a little bit about your new show.
Yes.
Tell us about what's going on with the show. I know you got a brand new sewing show coming out, and everybody's been super excited. We've been talking about it here for a long time before it's ever been released to anybody. So tell us a little bit what's going on.
Well, first of all, Blaine, it's so nice to see you all. And thank you for being a sponsor for the new show. So the new show is Fabric to Fashion. I know a lot of you have been just waiting patiently for this to come out. So am I. So we have actually recorded season 1, which includes 4 challenges. And each challenge runs between 3 and 4 episodes. So how does it work? I send them fabric from Vogue Fabrics, and then they open it up and we give them a challenge. And we follow them sewing in their own studio. This is going to be so much fun. So it has not launched yet. I'm thinking it's going to be right around September, end of August, 1st of September. But what you need to know is it's on a brand new channel called Made It Myself TV. They have an app, and the app is fully operational now, and it's everything creative. And there's going to be a streaming channel, which I believe just launched maybe a couple days ago, Made It Myself TV. And I know Vizio TV has it, and it's moving on to the other formats here shortly. So once it's up and running, any bugs are taken out, Fabric to Fashion will launch. So if you want to keep up to date when it launches, just go to Fabric to Fashion, not number 2, but TO, and sign up for the newsletter. And Sewing Machines Plus is a major sponsor on there. And wait till the guests find out what they get from you. So Blaine, thank you so much. And it's so much fun. It's just imagine designing clothes in your own sewing studio. You don't have to be a professional. This is just all of people like you and I. Well, you don't sew, so you don't count. But people like all of your fans here that love to sew. And I'm putting together the list for filming for season 2, which will start in the fall. But, being the first season, I had a little, figure out how to make it work, how many episodes, how much time. There's a lot to this, more than I thought.
That's what I was going to say. We've all been patiently waiting, but we've kind of been behind the scenes, inside scoop, all the SMP Nation has, because you came on early on talking about the show. But, shows, when they do these, as you know, through It's So Easy that you did, they take, half a year, sometimes to a year of planning just to get them launched, and then all the taping and everything. So it's a big, long process. But, we've patiently waited, but we've been kind of behind the scenes for a long time. We've known about it. And so SMP Nations, I promise you, they're going to support it. They've been behind it from day one, Angela. So can't wait. So everybody, make sure you go to the website, go download the app. That way you'll see the exact launch date. And then we'll try to keep everybody posted about it too. And I can't wait to see it.
Trust me, when it launches, it's going to be on Thursdays at 8 p.m. And it will be an international show. And I think your shows are always on Thursdays. So I promise you this, that the day it's going to launch, I will let you know so I can pop in and we can do the official launch. How's that?
I love it. I love it. So that's what we'll do. So y'all can just stay tuned and we'll do that. All right. So enough about the show. Let's talk about Kai scissors. I know that you've used these things for a long, long time. And so I kind of want to get your take on, your most popular scissors that you use, what you like about them, and just kind of give us a rundown on it.
Well, a couple of things, Blaine. This is just one bag of my scissors, and I've taken a bunch of the scissors out already. But these are like what you get your curling irons in. I don't need one of those. So I throw all my scissors in here. And someone asked me, how many pairs of scissors do I have? And, I would do a contest for that, but I don't even know. I have so many pairs. But I should tell you how I met Kai scissors many years ago. I was at a show, and I won a fashion design contest. It was kind of like one episode of Project Runway. A pair of Kai scissors was in my bag. I'd never heard of them. So I used them to cut wrapping paper for the whole year because they had a black base. And remember the scissors that have the handle? That's what my mother would always say, don't touch scissors with the orange handle. Well, these aren't orange, so I use them for paper. The following year, I went back to the show, went by the Kai Scissors booth. I said, gosh, I just love your scissors. It's great on paper. And they just kind of looked at me a little odd. And then I looked at the price. Oh, I don't think those are for paper. So to make a long story short, that began my relationship with Kai Scissors, who they are also a sponsor of the TV show. And you've probably seen Devin all over the place. He's always photobombing our photos. So these scissors are amazing. And so each year I would grab one new pair and just keep testing them out. How many of you watch It's So Easy TV? Because you've probably seen, well, I started with these and now I'm up to these. And when I do my live shows, I have so many people that say, oh my gosh, your scissors are huge, because they are. Go big or go home. Isn't that what, that's what we say about the hoops, but these are fantastic. So I have a pile of my favorites. Now they come in different colors and things like that, depending on, what you're looking for and what's available at the time. So I grab one more little pair here. I don't think I even told you this pair, Blaine, but I'll bring it to the party anyways. Okay, so for anything for bags, garments, I've cut a ton of pairs of jeans on this for sewing. So these are my all-time favorite. And yes, they do have the Angela Wolf logo, but it's the 7280. 7280. And they look heavy, but they're not. They're heavy duty and they can cut through just about anything. But they're not heavy, which is what I like. Now they're not spring loaded. I had somebody ask me that one day, but they're so smooth that I find that the spring loaded bother me. These are great. So these are the 7280s. I'm sure you probably have those on somewhere on your site, Blaine. And these are the 7280 SE. So what is the difference between the 7280 and the SE? All right, I'll just give you a quick rundown of this. SE means serrated edge. Now, I'm not as good as Devin. Devin, if you're watching, you're probably laughing. The serrated edge and then the regular edge. So the serrated, let me give you some ideas how to cut that, what to cut with it. How to cut it? I would cut sheer fabric, knits, anything that's kind of a slinky, slippery fabric. Because the serrated edge, as you cut, it actually captures the fabric. So it's kind of like a walking Pac-Man, if you remember that. I'm not that old, but I do remember that. All right. Or you have just the regular scissors, which just cut. So if you've never tried serrated edge, if you design clothes, you definitely need the serrated edge. If you use a lot of shears or tricky fabrics, anything like that, these are fantastic. Now, you don't have to get the huge ones. They have other sizes in both. So let me take you back over there and we'll talk about just a few more. But these are my all-time faves. So that's the 7280 SE. Uh-oh, it got real quiet outside. That always makes me worried, Blaine. Wind has used up way more than 9 lives. Here's another 7280. And here's another 7280. Why do I have so many? Because I leave them all over my studio for different sewing stations. Here's the 7250 SE. This is a little smaller, so if I put these together, you'll see the difference in size. So if you want something a little shorter, same style, same everything, just a lot lighter than this pair. And this is my go-to for cutting just about anything sheer, chiffon, even again knits, because as you cut the serrated edge, it just captures. I don't really know how to describe it. You have to just try it. I'm sure somebody's going to ask if they have left-handed scissors. Yes, they do in certain styles. Okay, so if you sew and craft and embroider and you just need one pair that you want to add to your sewing room, the 5220s. It's a lightweight pair. It's just a basic cutting scissor, but it's sharp. I have had this pair in particular probably 15 years. In fact, that pair I told you about with the wrapping paper, I never had to get them sharpened. I still use them. So these are the ones that if you've probably heard me talk to Win, and I get really angry when he steals my scissors, these are the ones he uses for his fishing boat. So if you're into sports, This is kind of a twofer. But I call them the most expensive fishing scissors around, but he loves them. They're great for fishing line. All right, a few more here. So here's another 5250. And I don't know, Blaine, if you have different colors and stuff, but they do have some. All right, let's get into the smaller scissors. I know, it's crazy, but as you, scissors in your sewing room, you have to have them. And you have to have a good pair. If you have dull scissors, it's like having a dull seam ripper. Okay, so this is the next pair, and I usually have these at every sewing station. So I put them in the drawer. This one here is the 7150. They're just a small pair. They're great for cutting embroidery stabilizer. When you're trying to cut around curves, you're adding little snips. It has a real sharp point. This is a really nice pair. All right, what's this one? Why do I know I'm going to have to put my glasses on? Actually, that's not, yeah, that is Kai. 51. Oh, that's really small. Can you read that? I'll put my thicker glasses on and let you know. But this is another pair, but see how the blade's a little bit longer than this one? Again, real sharp at the tip. For those of you that follow me, you know I sew all garments, bags. Oh, did you guys hear that noise? We need to have a camera outside. This could be like a whole another reality show, Blaine. But I often will want to put little snips in certain areas, corners or things like that. The key is to have a super sharp point. Or how many of you have used my embroidery collection? Any of them, all 3 collections. Blaine has all of them here on Sewing Machines Plus. A lot of times I'll embroider on tulle. And after I do that, I want to take the tulle and I just want to trim along the edge of the tulle. That's where these 2 really come in handy because they're so sharp. I don't even need to open the scissors. I literally take that little front edge and cut away. All right, I got a few more for you. And, oh my goodness gracious. Let's see. Where's my phone? These are tiny. I know if Jeff's watching, he's probably laughing. 5135. 5135. These are really sharp as well. I like these at the sewing machine just because look at the size of these. So these I keep in the drawer. These I keep at the sewing machine. They're all different, but they're very sharp. And this pair is the one that's curved. So you can see that curved edge. This is really great for cutting appliques, things like that. So I'll pull out my stronger scissors here and just tell you the numbers on those. And then also, see the curve on these? These are really nice for cutting threads in the embroidery hoop. Both of these. All right, so let me find my thicker glasses, and Blaine, you can laugh about this, but those numbers are so tiny. I could hold them up on screen and we could take a vote on what they are. I know, so many scissors. So, by the way, did you hear that thump? It got really quiet outside and I don't hear a fire truck, so I guess we're okay. So just a few things while I grab those last few numbers for you. Why do you need so many? Well, each one really serves a different purpose. So those itsy bitsy ones that have the curve, those are great for cutting threads for embroidery or applique. If you do any of that, that's such an easy way to do it. Yeah, you can also use just a basic pair, but the scissors go with the project. So just keep that in mind. And also, what happens if you have them and all of a sudden they do have a nick in them? Well, guess what? You can send them in and they'll sharpen them for you and send them back. I probably am not allowed to share the story, so I won't, but I should. I will not. I was the one there, so I can share it, but I won't say who it was. So if you're watching, don't be offended. I just had to laugh about this. So when we were in Puyallup, I was with Jeff and Devin and the whole Kai crew for the trade show, and somebody brought a pair of scissors that their dog had eaten half of the handle. And Blaine, I'm not kidding. I kind of looked at that and I thought, well, if you ate half the handle, why? And you know what? Without question, they just gave her a new pair. But I don't think that's protocol. So don't let your dog near the scissors. But if they do need sharpening, they're so good at that. You just send them to them, they'll send it back. So if you haven't met the crew at Kai Scissors, they're fantastic. All right, so I've got my phone and my magnifier. Let's go back so I can tell you what the numbers are of the little guys. They're really tiny. All right, so this one here is upside down. I'll bring my phone in here. Okay, N5130DC. That's this curved pair. This is what I use for cutting threads in the embroidery hoop or on an applique. I think this one is almost the same, but this one's really tiny. Nope, this one's different. This one is N130DC. Oh, they are the same. They don't look the same, but they're the same. Okay, so you've got that. DC, just think of DC. There you go. Those are fantastic. All right, so here's a couple other pairs. This one was the N. Oh, goodness. We should have a guess. N5135. This should be a contest. This is the curved pair. It has a slight curve. I really like this for going around when I'm trying to cut curves, when I'm cutting anything on a thicker applique. It works for a lot of different applications. I also use this when I'm using embroidery. Okay, and then these two I leave at the sewing machine. They're great for cutting threads. I leave them at the serger. All of those. And this one is, if I could get the lighting just right, N5135. N5135. Yeah, those are the same. All right, so that is my rundown of scissors. They all have a different purpose. They come in different colors. I know that there's a lot of people that'll say some of them are large. Are they heavy? They're not. They're really not. Although if you have arthritis or anything like that in your hand, those 5220s are awesome scissors. They're lightweight. They cut. They're easy to use. So any questions on the scissors that I can answer? Now, if you had Devin on here, Blaine, he'd give you the technical steel and all that stuff. I'm not.
Come on, you're not
just
going to say
use them.
technical stuff, Angela?
I
Well, hey, I do know.
needed my craft optics glasses because I couldn't see.
Well, I know one thing about these now, Angela. You know, one thing about them, what makes Kai scissors so awesome is they're hardened stainless steel, and they add a like carbon to them. And what makes that significant is when you add carbon to the hardened stainless steel, that you can actually create the cutting angle, a lot more of an angle for the cutting surface, which makes them a lot sharper. So
yeah,
that's one thing about Kai scissors. Now one cool thing too, Kai scissors also makes they own a company that makes knives. And
yes.
Kyle is a big knife guy, and so these knives are like really sought after, and they're like the premium knives out there.
Best of the best. I don't cook, as you know, but my sister does. She's a chef, not professional, but she's, and I will never forget her call. So I don't even know what half these knives are for. And she calls Jeff at Kai and says, I need a spatchcock knife. And I was like, what the heck is that? And guess what? Heck, it can cut right through those chickens.
Yeah.
Those are the best knives. Do you have those?
We don't have them. So the cuttery, they make cuttery. They also make like regular tactical knives. And so it's under a different brand. It's not under the Kai brand. And so that we don't carry those, but I know of them. Kyle knows of them. And that's why I just talk about the blade. It's the same. Yeah, it's the same quality blade. They're the hardened stainless steel. They have the carbon high carbon content added, which you can get those really steep cutting edges that makes them extremely sharp, and they keep their edge and keep their sharpness. I mean, for life, as long as you don't abuse them. And again, what's great about them, all those can be sharpened. So if they ever get nicked or dulled or anything, you can just resharpen them and send them in to get them sharpened. And I tell you, that's the thing. I don't know if you heard, Angela, when we started the show, I was talking about actually the orange handled scissors. And
I didn't hear that.
I had never really, that's all I'd ever been around my whole life. And I said, if you've ever had that, you really didn't know what a good pair of scissors even felt like or cut like until you get a pair. And then you're just kind of blown away. It's like, oh my gosh, it's like manual steering versus power steering. I mean, it's just amazing the difference.
Well, and as I mentioned about how they're so sharp, I'll use that huge pair. Hold on, I'll grab it real quick. I'll use this pair right here when I'm cutting something so tiny. When I do my embroidery designs, I put them on tulle fabric, which is super thin, and I just want to trim that tulle away. I literally open the scissors that far, and it's like, it's like having a third hand. I mean, they're so sharp. Now, you do have to be careful because Susan Fisher, I don't know if you're watching, I'm not going to rat you out, but I have boxes of Band-Aids here when she comes in the fall for my studio because somehow these are really sharp. And
oh my gosh.
Also, I've only had to have 2 pairs sharpened ever. And one was because Wynn used it for cutting wire on the boat. And I called Jeff and said, I'll just buy another pair. Well, they sharpened them and they were fine. The other pair dropped off the boat and hit the cement. So it's Wynn's fault. But both pairs, those are the only 2 after all of these years. And it's been since 2008 is when, no, 2007 is when I started using Kai scissors. That's
awesome.
a long time.
Well, I mean, if that's not a good testimonial, I don't know what is. I mean, as much as you sew and cut fabric and do all the clothes, that's just a testament to the quality. And that's, I guess that's the message I'm trying to get across to everybody is the quality of these are unmatched. You're not going to find any scissors in the industry, in any industry, that are better quality than the Kai scissors. And that's why, I know you're, big supporter of them. And, I know that's why we love selling these things because they're just a great pair of scissors and they're trouble-free. You don't have to worry about them.
Right. And, and as they get new ones and new colors, I always try to add a few of those to the collection. I started, in fact, it wasn't even 2008. It was even way before that. I was thinking about that now. Every year I would just buy 1 pair. It was kind of like my annual, right before my birthday, I would get a new pair. Because as you add to the collection, you realize that the tiny ones are great for this. I need a great pair of thread snips at the machine. When it comes to embroidery, that opens a whole nother box of scissors. When I'm cutting denim, if I'm cutting big garments and I want to get something done quickly. One time, Blaine, and I think this is one of the first times I ever met you, and you might not remember, but it was at Brothers Back to Business, and I was teaching in the room, and we were sewing mini jeans. And I don't know if you remember this, but it was many, many years ago. Well, my assistant cut out 600 mini pairs of jeans for kits using the same pair of scissors, and they never dulled.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Well, Angela, I know you're a busy lady, so we're going to let you get going, and I'm going to tell everybody how they can get these today. But thank you so much for coming on the show. And everybody, make sure y'all can go to angelthewolf.com. She has all of her social media links on there. You can go find out and see what Angela's doing. We will keep you informed about the new show coming up, and can't wait to see it. And Angela, again, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your experience with Kai.
Thank you, Blaine. I have a quick question. I logged in late and you said something about an auction. When is that?
It is next week.
What day?
Thursday.
Okay. I got my calendar. I have to let my sisters know. I have to let my friends know. Is this like a liquidation sale, like really good deals?
Yes. And you have to have purchased from Sewing Machines Plus before to be able to be eligible. And but yeah, you can sign up. Kyle's got the link in the chat. He's getting ready to put it up there again. And the link, you can just click that link. You sign up, register for it. Then we'll send you another email with a link that you go and sign up for the actual auction site itself. And then you'll get a phone number and you'll be able to text your bid in.
I love this. Okay, I'll be here Thursday. So Blaine, thank you for having me on. It's so great to see all of your fans and all the Wolf Pack and everybody. And thanks for supporting myself and my new TV show. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Always. Thank you, Angela. Talk to you soon. All right, guys. So y'all saw the Kai scissors. And again, there's tons of colors. Many of the models actually come in left-handed scissors as well. So you can do right or left-handed. They don't have every single model, but they have a lot of them that you can get. So, and then they have different color handles and all that. But guys, this is just one of them. The 7280 was one of the ones that she showed. It was the big ones. They're the 8-inch. I'm sorry, the 8-inch scissors, $134.39. Now, again, we were like, oh my gosh, that's an expensive pair of scissors. But here's the thing you got to realize. You're making an investment in something that's going to last you, forever. They really will last forever if you take care of them. And again, I saw a bunch of people chatting in out there that own the Kai scissors and love them. You will not ever regret spending the money to buy a good quality pair of scissors.
Mm-hmm.
Once you use these things, you will not want to use anything else. They're that good. And the stainless steel with the edge that they have on them, the cutting edge just stays so sharp. And one of the things Angela even talked about was barely opening them up and just sliding them. Well, that's what I've noticed when I cut my materials. I don't even have to do the scissor action. I just barely open it up and I just glide it right beside a ruler and I can cut straight. It's amazing. It'll just cut it almost like an X-Acto knife running between the blades. So it's pretty awesome how they work. But guys, every one of the Kai scissors, we have a call-in special on it. So again, you see the price there. Give us a call because that's not going to be your final price. We have a great call-in special today on these. So this is the time. If you've been dreaming about a pair of scissors, now's the time to get yours. The next one that we talked about was that 7000 series. These are the 10-inch. These are the big boys. They're $69.99. And this is has the serrated edge on them. What's the next ones, Kennedy?
So the next one was the smaller ones that she was talking about that are like the perfect go-to scissors.
Yeah, these are the ones you want to have right at your sewing machine.
Yes. These ones are both available in left-handed, right-handed, and serrated. So
okay, perfect.
Lots of different options.
So there's going to be serrated model, straight model, and then you can get them left or right-handed.
Yes. Yeah.
So perfect. And guys, look at the price on this, $24.99, but we still have a call-in special on it. And then I think we had one more we were just going to highlight.
And that was the
7,000. Yeah, the 10-inch.
This one is the 7280 with the serrated edge that she also was talking
okay,
about.
The 7280. Yeah, so this is these are the big ones too. These are the 11-inch, right?
Yes.
Okay, 11-inch, $79.99. And again, if you've never had a big pair of scissors, they're awesome.
You're missing out.
They're just so awesome how they feel in your hand, and they're not heavy at all. So. But anyway, guys, every one of the Kai scissors right now, even if we didn't just show them on the screen, some of the ones that Angela even had, every one of them are calling specials today. So go check them out. You can just go to SMPLive.tv. We have the Kai scissors on there. Or you can go to our SewingMachinesPlus.com website. In the search bar, just type in Kai scissors. It'll take you to the category page, and you can see all the different scissors we have. We have a ton of them.
We have lots. Kai scissors has so many different colors, different gift sets. I mean, just go browse and see all the different options. The duck bill, the curved. Oh my goodness.
So a ton of scissors. Make sure that y'all go check them out. And, if you don't want to get them today, just put them on your wish list. Be a great addition for any sewing room. And I know a ton of y'all have them out there. It might be today time to go ahead, like Angela says, and get that annual scissor buy and buy you another pair that you've had your eye on, because we got a great special on them today. So make sure you give us a call. All right, moving on in the show, guys. It's all about cutting today, right?
Yes.
So I wanted to pick my favorite products about cutting. So we got my favorite scissors out there. Kai scissors. I absolutely love the scissors. So the next one is a handheld rotary cutter. And
of course.
I've used a lot of different ones out there. And I'm telling you, this one we're bringing up next, the TrueCut by Grace. Laurel is going to tell us exactly why TrueCut is just above the rest.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many things, and there's some cool features about it that just makes it so much better. And her dad was very instrumental in designing these. Everybody knows Nathan has been on our show many times. He helped design these things, and I tell you what, when he tried it, he told me, he's like, Blaine, when I went out and designed these, I tried to find something that was better than anything on the market. And I think he did. So that's why we're such a big fan. But hey, let's welcome Laurel Earsnaznik.
Yes.
Always hard to say, Earsnaznik. So hey, how are you?
Yes, thank you. I'm doing good. And it actually has changed. My last name is now Daniels.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, congrats.
Yes,
I forgot that you got married. Yes, congratulations. I completely forgot that.
Thank you. No,
My
it's
bad.
all good.
So
I know it's
I knew
newer,
you
changing
got married
it.
because
So.
Nathan told me he was going to a wedding.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
congratulations on that. And so,
Thank you.
I'm so excited you're on the show because, one of the things that I always talk about is some of the products I really just personally love the product and know the quality of it. And, TrueCut and Sewing Machines Plus has had a great relationship for a long time. And we've tried to have these on our show many times because I just love the product. And I'm excited that you're here to share what makes them different than everybody else. So we're going to let you take it away and talk about this, this package we have today, and then I'll come back and tell everybody the great special.
Okay, awesome. Yes, thank you so much. I am really excited to talk with you guys about our TrueCut cutting line. It is definitely unique compared to what's out there, and I do remember back at the beginning, it was before I worked here at Grace Company, but my dad, working on it, he had some 3D printed models. He's like, here, feel this, how's it feel? I hadn't never done any quilting or anything, so I was like, it's good, but getting into it, there is a lot of unique things about this that truly make it the best cutting system out there. So I do want to go ahead and get started just talking about the different products and kind of the combo that we have for you guys today. So we're going to be talking about the Master Cutting Collection. However, today with SMP, we're throwing in a few additional freebies with that for you. So 2 of them that we're throwing in that are not usually included, but we are including if you purchase again through SMP. One of them is a cutting mat. So it's our medium-sized cutting mat. It's an 18 by 24 cutting mat. You can see it has different markings all along the edges as well as some of the angles. So 60, 45, and then there's 90 over here. It is also a double-sided mat with the markings as well, so you can see. And then it is, and I would say this a little bit cautiously, but a self-healing mat. Now, like anything, if you continue to cut in the same spot repeatedly, you do need to make sure, and really I'd recommend move it over, even if it is just a little bit, so that it can give it that time to heal properly. So you can keep your mat looking and really performing the best for you for as long as possible. So again, this is the 18 by 24 cutting mat that we have. This again is usually not included, but we're gonna throw it in today for you guys. And the other thing is actually what we have just underneath here. I'm gonna take this up. This is our TrueCut non-slip pad. So you can see it actually is pretty big. It's meant for our largest size cutting mat that we have, a 24 by 36 inch cutting mat. With this though, we kind of give you this so that, hey, if you decide you are gonna get a smaller portion like the one that's coming today free with it, you can actually simply cut this. And if you want, use this for other products or projects that you're doing really. Sometimes when people are doing paper piecing, this is a very helpful tool because it helps because it is a non-slip. But again, this is also included, the non-slip pad. Again, it comes default this full size for you. You're able to simply cut it down to whatever size you want, and it does mark that on there as well for you, so you can make sure to cut it to the correct size you're looking for. So kind of some fun little things, again, we're including for free, but I do want to go ahead and jump just kind of right into what actually is included with that Master Cutting Collection. So right off the bat, I'm going to talk a little bit about our cutters. So this is our straight cutter. This is what comes with it, and there are 2 different center or guide points that come with it. The one that is currently on there is meant to work in conjunction with our rulers, and I'll go into a little bit how that works in a second. And then the other pin here is meant for other rulers you may have. So because cutting and fabric has been around for a very, very long time, there's often a lot of systems you already have, right? I already have another rotary cutter. I already have a couple different rulers that I like, and maybe it's the certain shapes that you like in particular about them. So that's where, hey, if you like the cutter itself, you're able to still use it with the different rulers you have. With it though, again, we do have a specific center guide point that interlocks with our ruler's edge. So all of our rulers, and with this selection, you get a wonderful slew of different sizes. You get, the one I'm using here is a 3 by 18. You get our largest size, which is a 6.5 by 24.5. There's a 6.5 by 12.5. And then we go into our square rulers. So we have a 6.5 by 6.5, 9.5 by 9.5, and then 12.5 by 12.5. And it's all in inches. And again, with this entire kit, all of those sizes come with it. And then, like I was mentioning before, there's a lip that sits on the edge of all of our rulers. It's just a little bit, just comes up just slightly. But again, it's with all of our rulers. So even if it's one, you know, that's not included with this kit, like one of our triangle ones, they still have that edge on them. The reason for that is oftentimes when you're cutting, you know, you're like, all right, I got this, I'm feeling good, I'm going, and then it seems that like that last little bit, something happens and you veer off, you know, or maybe it's not quite as serious. Sometimes it's just, ooh, just a little bit, right? And then you try to come back. So when that happens, sometimes, you know, you have to bring it in and you might do it again. And that happens, you know, a couple times. Or sometimes, you know, the cutter can come up and over the edge. I know a few people that have nicked themselves because of that. So with it, the guide actually will interlock with that ruler's edge. So it sits just right up over the top, and it makes it so I can't pull it away from that ruler's edge. So you can see here, I'll drag it up to the top so you can see a little bit more. But again, that guide or that center point sits right on the lip of that ruler's edge. So super nice. Again, it's gonna keep it like I can't pull it away, right, unless I lift it up and off. So this way, again, I simply set it on, and it's nice and on there for me. So super easy, wonderful, really what we call the tracking guide system. So this goes back to kind of what Blaine was talking about, how, hey, you know, something that's unique with it is because oftentimes we do veer off or coming up and over, this is going to help that. It's going to make a huge difference for you where you now perfectly straight cut every time. I had an opportunity recently to go to a show, and I talked with a customer who does projects, you know, for kids, and she has some elderly people that help her, and they have a harder time seeing, and then they have a little bit of a shaky grip. So with it before, they did have to make quite a bit of smaller projects, or they had to change how they're doing it. This way, they're able to actually accomplish a lot more because it gives them that accurate cut every single time. So really fun, again, kind of going over specifically with the bundle we have today. It's that Master Cutting Collection. It comes with the 45mm straight cutter. The straight cutter does come with those two different center points. So again, right off the bat, you're able to, if you want, use it with the rulers or other rulers you have if there's a specific shape you enjoy. And then all the different rulers. So this one again is the 3x18. You have all those other rectangles and those square rulers included with it. And then of course with rulers, we have what we call True Grip. So they're clear little adhesives that sit on the back of any rulers you have. And with this kit, you actually get 5 packs, 5 different packs of True Grips. They're gonna come with it. So they're clear little adhesives that come in 2 different sizes. There's the larger and then the small little center points here. And I know because they are clear, they can be a little bit trickier to see, but we do have one sitting just right here on the ruler's edge. So you can see it looks a little bit darker than what this is. This one does not have it on there. Really, it's instrumental in your cutting because when I flip this over, because it's a longer ruler, sometimes you have to put your whole arm down. Sometimes you have to, you know, walk up your ruler. With this, all I have to do is put a bit of pressure, you know, down here at the bottom, and it's going to completely hold it. It won't move it. You can see I'm moving my hand. The ruler is staying perfectly in place. Now to move it, all I have to do is lift it up, right? But that allows you to keep your fabric held in place and give you a more accurate cut. So with TrueCut, I should say, we call it easier, safer, and more accurate cutting. So with that, again, we have the easier, you have that tracking guide system. It is safer with it that way. And then it is much easier because again, we're giving you very simple tools that make an instrumental difference in your whole cutting line of things. So going right along here with what else comes in this wonderful package, because there's a lot of things I want to make sure we have time to get to. So I'm going to again set those True Grips aside. Again, you do get 5 packs of 30, 15 large and 15 small. So that is more than enough for all the rulers that come with this. So again, if you want to use it on other projects or rulers, absolutely can with it. Another thing that comes with it, because you do get that 45mm comfort cutter, is some additional blades. It comes with 2 free blades for you. So they're just some wonderful blades, standard 45 size, but again, you do get 2 of those with it. I'm gonna go ahead and move these aside as well. And we're gonna talk about another different type of cutter, if you will, that we have. So it's our 360 circle cutter. Now this is a super fun tool to use. Before I came to Grace Company, and I'd say before I started to do anything with cutting, I hated cutting circles. I didn't like it. I would try to find a bowl or a cup, or even, if I was trying to sketch something out, I was like, I need to create a circle. And I would get pretty good, right? Almost all the way around. But then when I had to pick up my pencil or pen, it wouldn't line up when I would go back over it. And so with this, we actually have allowed you to create an array of different sizes, and you can do it in one fell swoop. So a little bit about it. It's our, again, 360 circle cutter. It can do as small as 2 inches all the way out to 12 inches. Super simple. I'll give you guys a brief demonstration of kind of how it works. So this is actually what determines what size. There's a little knob right here. You're able to rotate and again adjust all the way down to 2, all the way out to 12 inches. So whatever size you want. For now, we're just going to say, hey, I'm going to do it right around the 7-inch mark. And then with this is where the blade itself sits. And you can see this actually rotates. And this is a very key ingredient as well to give you that perfect circle that you don't have to pick your hands up from. So with that, I'll show you this. This is one I had done just earlier because I was like, waiting around. And I love, now that I can do this, I love cutting circles. I feel like I did a lot, even though I just had to move my hands around. So super, super simple. Again, it gives you a perfect circle. But one thing I did want to point out is when your fabric is like this, you can see it's got a little bit of a crease here. So sometimes what can happen is when you're cutting, you'll start to see that crease, right? Or it'll bend it. And so then when you actually flatten it out, it's not a perfect circle. With this, it actually has a wide base around it. So it does flatten out that fabric for you. So you can see as you glide it over, you can see again, just nice and flat in that wrinkle right there. I'll move my hand back a little bit. You can see it just glides over it. So super, super simple, very easy. With that, again, this is where the blade itself sits underneath here. It's a tiny, tiny little blade. There is a safety that you can just simply push in here as well. And that's what prevents this from pushing down. So again, we're trying to create an easier, safer, and more accurate cutting system. So that's why we do give you that to push down in and keep, again, your blade from potentially coming down and cutting things. But I'm gonna go ahead and now show you how we can cut a circle. So I'm gonna release that safety. You can hear it snap there. Pull out a piece of fabric, lay it out. All right, super simple. So I am right-handed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my right hand on this guide point right here. So again, this is that middle pin. And when you push down this middle pin, it actually releases a tiny little center point, if you will, that holds it down to your fabric. Now, once I do this, again, right hand here, I'm actually gonna take my left hand and cross it over. Now, the reason for crossing it is that when I come around, you can see I'm able to fully circle my hand around my other hand without ever having to actually take or lift my hand off that center point. Now, that is key in giving you that perfect circle. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. Again, I have this down. I'm just pushing on it. I'm gonna come across. Now, for this one, I like to come and push all against my other hand. Push it down. Wha-cha! Boom, baby. Oh, it looks like I didn't push quite hard enough there. But watch this. I'm gonna do it one more time because I wanna show you guys it really, really is that easy. And I love cutting circles now. I love cutting circles now that I have this. So one more time, we're gonna start opposite. Make sure I'm in the middle. I'm gonna make sure I have enough pressure all the way around. There we go, that should cut it for me. And now I have that perfect, right around 7-inch circle. Really fun that you can kind of come back in if you want. I'm gonna just move that aside. You can come back in and cut off, a certain part of it to create certain designs, whatever you want. If you're gonna create a little something, come back in. So just really fun. Again, that's our 360 circle cutter that comes with this master cutting collection. And last thing I want to talk about before we kind of kick it back over to Blaine to get that amazing pricing is the electric sharpener that comes with this kit as well. So I'm going to move this aside here. So this is, again, an electric sharpener. And I don't know about you guys, but we talked about the Kai scissors before. They are kind of a little expensive, but they're always nice and sharp for you. So that's where blades, in the same type of thing, can get dull, but they're expensive. So this is giving you a way to sharpen those blades and be able to reuse them. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it here. It takes all 3 sizes. It takes the 28, the 45, and the 60. There's small little divots in there for you, so you can simply put your blade in. I'll go ahead and pull one out here so you can kind of see what that looks like. Now, I'm not going to actually sharpen it because it is still a fully sharp blade, so you do want to be careful of not sharpening a sharp blade because that gives it the potential to dull it. With this as well, you do get a set of tweezers so you don't ever have to handle a sharp blade, because that's when, again, you potentially get those additional nicks, and cut yourself. But all you do is you set it down in, and then the key that makes this work is what we call this. So it's the diamond grit stone. There's one that sits on the bottom as well as the top here. And that's what really is going to resharpen that blade's edge. So all you do, and as you can see, it does move a little bit. You can see that. And that's, again, according to the size blade that you put in. But all I'm gonna do is push it down. I lock it into place. This is what activates it. I go ahead, I hold it down for 30 seconds. Again, this is where it plugs into the wall. And then once you've done it for 30 seconds, what you do want to do is make sure to go ahead and flip the blade. Now, again, usually with this, you have a set of tweezers, but there's this little knob. Push it back, kicks up that edge for me. Put it back down, and again, lock it, do it for another 30 seconds. Now, because, those stones can move, that's where we recommend, hey, flip it so you can get a perfectly even sharpen on both sides. So a wonderful, wonderful thing. Again, it does take those different size blades. It takes the small 28, the 45, and the 60. Couple things to keep in mind with this is people often ask, two questions, I would say, two common questions. First one is, does it really work? Yes, it does. That's where, again, kind of keep in mind what I said, flip the blade and try 30 seconds. Now, when we say try 30 seconds, there are sometimes blades that may be even duller, so you may need to go back in for another 30 seconds on both sides. It just depends. That's where we say first try the 30 on both sides. If it's still not quite as sharp as you want, go ahead, put it back in. And then with it, it absolutely works. You do want to make sure and keep in mind that your blade itself has a 3-wing center. Most blades do. It's kind of just an industry standard. However, some newer and like some titanium blades have just a circle. And those are the type of blades that unfortunately is not able to sharpen because it actually isn't able to rotate the blade inside to sharpen it. So again, that's where you do want to make sure it's the 3-wing so it can rotate and get the sharp edge in there. And then last question that is commonly asked is, how many times can you bring back a blade? Now, this is a little bit of a tricky question because it really depends on the blade. It depends on the quality of the blade. It depends on how much cutting you've done with it. But typically, on average, we would say it can bring it back about 2 to 3 times. Now, again, it's going to vary from blade to blade. Sometimes you can bring it back more. Sometimes it'll only bring it back once. It just depends. Only other thing to keep in mind is it can't fix a nick. So if your blade does have something that's missing out of it, it can't unfortunately put something back that is no longer there, right? And then by the time it usually gets sharp enough, the blade is actually too small that you run out of, it's no longer long enough to be able to cut that fabric. So just a few things to keep in mind. But again, one more time, just so you guys can know what comes in this wonderful kit. So it comes again with the 45mm straight cutter. Put this blade back in here, and I guess this is another thing I should show you guys with the straight cutter, is it actually has a magnet in it. So all I have to do is hover it over, and you can see it snapped it into place. And then it's a quick release, so all I have to do is come, line up this center point with this middle part. You hear it click right into place. So super simple. This little lever on the back is what you push to release it. And again, you have the magnet, so to change it, slide it off, hover it over it, push it into place, and again, it clicks right back into place. So super fun feature that's in the straight cutters, but again, that comes with it. We have all the different rulers. So we have, the 3x18, 6.5 by 24.5, 6.5 by 12.5. Then we go into those square rulers, and these are all in inches. So then we have the 6.5 by 6.5, 9.5 by 9.5, then the 12.5 by 12.5. And then it comes again with the 5-pack of True Grips, the 2 packs of blades. Put the True Grips on here as well for you. And then with it as well, right now, with purchasing with SMP, it is also going to include this cutting mat, so the 18 by 24, and that non-slip pad. Usually that is not included in the bundle, but right now for them and you guys, we are going to go ahead and throw it in. But that is, again, the Master Cutting Collection that we love so much. And I almost forgot though, 360 cutter, that comes with it too. Would have been bad. That's one of probably the best features really about this system. So that does come with it as well. But again, that's the Master Cutting Collection. And Blaine, we can go back to you so we can see what the amazing pricing is on it.
Well, thanks, Laurel. Great demonstration. Always love watching you do that. And again, it's, cutting those circles would be almost like therapy, wouldn't it?
It is. It really is. It's just fun. And then I just want to keep cutting. And then there was one time before, one of like these things, like, you got to stop cutting, we're running out of fabric, and I was just like, so it is super
like me and Kennedy yesterday. I was cutting everything she was bringing to me.
Yeah, you're sitting here, right? Why not?
Yeah, there you go.
Carried away.
Well, thanks, Laurel, so much. And we sure do appreciate
you
you coming on the show and sharing that with us. And we sure do appreciate Grace. And we're going to tell them how everybody can get this now. And so we'll see you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
All righty. All right, guys, that was the Ultimate Cutting Collection. And I tell you, this thing, I absolutely love this. They call it the Master Cutting Collection from Grace. This is the TrueCut. Guys, you see the price there, $299.30. Now, that isn't the final price. We do have a call-in special. You have to call in for this. And guys, I'd highly recommend if you need some good cutters, especially if you want to cut circles, if you want a really nice, rotary cutter, great rulers. And I love how that rotary ruler just kind of fits in with the ruler. It just clips in and gives you that great edge to keep it straight. Now, again, you're going to get that straight cut cutter, 45 millimeter. You're getting the 6.5 inch by 24.5 inch ruler. You're getting the 6.5 inch by 12.5 inch ruler. You're getting the 3 inch by 18 inch ruler, the 12.5 by 12.5 inch ruler. That's that big square one. You're getting the 9.5 by 9.5 inch ruler, the 6.5 by 6.5 inch. You're getting the TrueCut 360 circle cutter that's with the pack. You're getting that True Sharp power sharpener. So it's the True Sharp 2, I think they call it, power sharpener. You see it, the blue there with the lid open on it. And then you're getting the 5 packs of the True Grips. Now, those are the little thin non-slip adhesives that you just stick on the bottom of your rulers, and it makes them grip and they won't slide around. These things are awesome. And actually, there's a lot of different uses for these you can use. And then you're going to get the 2 free rotary blades, replacement blades there to have. And I am telling you guys, this is a great set. And I know a lot of y'all probably already have this out there that you purchased these at some of our other shows. So you'll know how good these are. But guys, again, give us a call. If you've been wanting to get a rotary cutter and with all the rulers, $299 is a great buy, but we're going to beat that today. Give us a call. It is a call-in special. We have a fantastic price on it. So give us a call right now at 800-401-8151 if you want to ask questions about the Kai scissors, or if you want to talk about some of the TrueCut products. You can go to SMPLive.tv. We have those products on there. You can just click on it. It'll take you to the pages. Now, we have a lot of other products in TrueCut as well. If you just want to go check them out, you can go to our website at SewingMachinesPlus.com. Just type in TrueCut in the search bar. It'll take you to the category page. Everything is a call-in special on TrueCut products today. I just highlighted my favorites today because I absolutely love that collection. I think you're getting some really cool things that you're going to need for fabric cutting, especially with all the rulers and things. But there are other products. You can just get the cutter by itself if you want to. So there's a lot of different things you can get. Go check those out. They're all call-in specials today. And all the Kai scissors are all call-in specials today as well. We have specials on all the Kai products, all the TrueCut products. All right. Are y'all ready for the next product?
Next, Blaine?
I got it right here. Here we go.
No.
The unveiling.
What?
Look at that.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, Kyle, can you zoom that in?
Whoa.
Here we go. So look at that, guys. So before I do any demonstrations, while Kyle's got it zoomed in, I'm going to talk a little bit about this, and I'm going to point out, I'll probably point out to you some of the product knowledge on this. So first of all, this thing is just pretty awesome. It has, you can see already, a battery. So it comes with 2 batteries. And it is absolutely cordless, so it is really cool. It has 5 speeds on it, and at the very top up here, you can actually see this is where it has a a switch right under the bottom. You can see it right there where I got my finger. You can turn it on right there. You'll see the light come on. And then once that is on, this is where you're going to power it from, and the little silver button. So the first switch, if I push it one time and hold it, it'll actually turn an LED light on. So we'll show you that right now. So let me hold that on. Boom. So there's your cutting light. You see it come on. And then after that, if I just hit it twice, that's the first speed. Now, if you want to go to another speed, I'm going to lower that down where you can see the blade. That's the second speed. Oh, that's the slowest speed right there. Second, third, fourth, fifth. So now you heard them all. So I can probably tell you the RPMs of all these. All right, so let me, I think I hold it down. Oh, I'm sorry, hit the main, the safety switch down here to turn it off. So let me just.
Like it saves your last speed. That's why you started at 3.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. Yeah. So, so that way, if you go here, let's just kind of demonstrate that real quick. So if I do. There it is. Yep. So if I come back on, let me just turn this back on. It goes right back. So it saves your last speed that you had. When you turn it back on, it goes right back. All right. So let me just tell you the RPMs. Now, the very low speed on this is 800 RPMs. The second speed is 950. Then we have 1100 is the third speed, 1250, and 1400. Now, you're probably asking, oh, why do I need different speeds for this? Well, the reason you need different speeds is because of the material you're cutting. So you want to, for lower, or let me just say that, for thicker material, and let's say like leathers, wool, or different things that are real thick, you want to go at a lower speed so it gets a very good cut. The thinner materials and the more delicate is the higher speed. So if you want to cut silk, you would want to go the highest speed, the highest RPM. So that's the way it's made. Now, what's really cool about this is you can see it right here. It has an edge guard on it. And this is another guard that you can do. So you can raise this up and lower it. And it has a screw right here that you can turn on, tighten or loosen to move this and put it where you want. So if you find where you want, you can tighten it up. And you can just use a little screwdriver. It's spring loaded, so it doesn't take much pressure to just tighten this up to where it doesn't move. Now, if you see right here, I don't know if y'all can see this very good. Kyle can probably try to zoom in. All right. This is a little, what they call an oil, basically, reservoir. And it really doesn't take any, like, hold a liquid. It is a kind of like a sponge in there. And you take this little cover with a screwdriver, you take this cover off, and you get a little tube of oil that comes with the cutter. And you'll go in there and just put a couple little droplets, about maybe 1 or 2 drops every 30 to 40 hours of use. And what that does, you put the cover back on, and it's basically just like a cloth, and it's going to just keep the blade. It rubs up against the blade and just kind of keeps the blade a little bit lubricated, so it never gets any problems. So, like, say if you're going through leather, that blade going through that leather could actually get a little warm and kind of even burn the blade. But the oil doing that, it keeps the friction down, so it makes it even cut better. So if that kind of gives you an explanation. So anyway, there's some really, just cool features about this. That the charging on it, you can, for one battery, you're going to get, oh my gosh, quite a bit of charging life with that battery before you even have to recharge it. That's the cool thing. Now, so let me kind of talk a little bit about the sharpening wheel. Now I'm going to turn this around, Kyle, so maybe everybody can see it. All right, I think that it's a great angle right there. So if you see this right here, this is spring loaded. Let me see if I can push that for you. You can see it. That's spring loaded. What that is doing, and let's see if we can get a good shot of this right here, Kyle. Let me see. All right, So y'all see the grinding wheel like right in there? So when I push this, it engages it against the blade. And what that does, it's just a grinding wheel. And it actually, you hold that down for a few seconds and that will actually sharpen your blade. Now, what happens since you're putting oil on the blade from your little reservoir, after a while, this wheel is going to get kind of soaked with oil. It'll have oil on it. They give you a little sanding rough pad that you come with it, almost like a little square piece of sandpaper. And you can take that wheel off and just dress it back up and get the oil residue off of it. You want to do that occasionally. And you can tell by the color of it after you've used it a while. So you want to do that. But we're going to give you an extra sanding, the wheel, grinding wheel, I guess you could say, or a sanding stone or sharpening stone. We're going to give you an extra one of those put in there, and it's real easy to change it out. It's in the instructions how to change that out. You're getting a second battery as well. You're going to get 2 batteries with it. And, we've just been playing around with this thing. And guys, I'm telling you, this thing it's a pretty cool machine. Now, one of the things too that you'll see, this thing kind of looks like an ironing pad, almost like but what that is, it actually has rollers under the bottom of it. It has 2 in the back and 1 up at the very front, as you can see them, I think right there. And what that does is that lets this thing roll around on very easily. Now, you don't have to have a cutting mat like we have right here. We have one of our creative creations or classy creations cutting mats on here, just to protect the surface. That's all it is, and make it slide. Excuse me, makes it slide across the surface a lot easier. But you don't have to have that. It's not. That is just, it's metal wheels, so you'd be wanting to not scratch a surface or something. So it wouldn't be bad to have a cutting mat. But this thing is made to where you can actually, if you're doing some circles, you could actually cut some circles, whatever you wanted to do.
I was cutting hearts out of folded fabric yesterday.
Yeah. So everybody says, well, what kind of use with this? Well, you can cut leather, you can cut felt, you can cut cotton, you can cut just about anything. But there's so many uses to cut with this. But what I wanted to do, one of the things so let me just cut some felt. What do y'all think? Cut something.
So this is pretty thick flannel.
That's what I want to do. This is the flannel. So Kyle, can you zoom in on that? I don't know if y'all can see how thick this is, but this is extremely thick flannel. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to fold this up. All right. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So is that going to be six thick?
Blaine, why don't you fold it one more time?
6 thick. So 6 thick goes to 12 thick.
Yeah.
Now that's about it. It supposedly cuts an inch thick of fabric. It'll cut an inch. So this is an inch thick. And y'all see how thick that is. I mean, that's, I wish I had a ruler where I could just show you how thick that is, but it is extremely thick. You can probably tell on camera. But we're going to cut this for you. And I'm going to cut it right toward the camera so you can see it. Would it be better to cut it at an angle a little bit, you think?
A little bit at an angle so I can see
the
blade go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. So we're going to get this going on. That's the 3rd speed.
Not loud.
No.
Very smooth.
Look at that.
Wow.
And Kyle, can you get a little shot of this? I want them to see how straight. I'm trying to get it a little bit. Can everybody see that? Look how straight of an angle that is. I mean, it cut it so straight. And look how clean the edge. I mean, I'm so impressed with this thing. Yeah. It is just so awesome. And again, let me cut another little piece of this. Oh, I want to turn my light on. I forgot to turn my light on.
There you go. Yeah.
So I can see the cut.
Yeah.
All right. It's moving on me. There we go. Hold that other side. I didn't have as much material to hold, but you can cut really thin stuff. All right, so you're saying, oh, okay, Blaine, that's not impressive. Cutting 12 layers of flannel, not a big deal. All right, let's put that to the side. How about some denim?
Here we've got some. Just roll it up, and let's see.
All right, so this is some denim. All right, so there's 2, 4, 8, 16. So that's 16 layers of denim.
Of stiff denim, too.
Yeah, it is really stiff. All right. This is going to be hard for me to hold because it's such a small piece, but I think I can do it. All right, so let's turn this thing on. I got to have my light for this. All right, so we have my light. Oh, I messed it up. Light. Okay, we're going to go. Yeah, so that's I got to go low. All right, so here's the low speed. I'm going to try to get this where I can hold it.
Hold it towards like the front.
Well,
and then there you go.
I'll get in the way of the blade. They can't see it. So I'm trying to get it where y'all can see it cut. Anyway, here we go. We're going to cut it. I mean, look at that. That didn't even, and that's the low speed.
Yeah.
And I want you to look how clean that cut is. I mean, that's unbelievable. All right, let's see if we can cut another piece. I mean, it's just going through it like butter. Okay, again, you're saying, okay, Blaine, denim, that's not a big deal. It was only 16 layers of denim.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it's not that big a deal. All right, let's throw that to the side. All right, well, let's pull some leather out. What do you think?
Okay. Now this is real deal leather. This is real deal.
This is purse leather that you make purses out of. Okay, so y'all know this is thick. This is a thick material too. Mm-hmm. Can we see that? Switch cameras, Kennedy. Can y'all? That's not showing up really good, is it? But you can kind of see this is a really thick leather, and they make purses out of this. Man, you can smell it too.
Yeah.
All right. So there's 2, right? 4, 8. I think we ought to do 16. I don't know. That may be thicker than an inch, Kyle. All right. We're going to do it anyway. 16 inches, 16 layers of leather.
Okay, you got some leftover denim on the side of your...
Oh, yep. I see it. All right. So anyway, we're going to turn this thing on.
Okay.
Is he going to do it?
Might be the folds.
Yeah, it's supposed to, it's hitting over here.
It would cut it, but
it would cut it.
Yeah, it's only supposed to do an inch. But look at this, guys. It cut it until it hit the motor. Yeah. But I want y'all to look at that.
Go down.
It cut it and clean as it could be. 16 layers of leather. And it would have went all the way through it. It was cutting fine until it hit that
motor.
The motor. So let's go ahead and we'll just do it a little.
Also, I think you need a bigger size to cut so it doesn't bend and fold when you're.
Well, we're going to cut it like this now. Now you'll see how it cuts it like butter because it goes through it very easily here. I'm hitting the thing again. Yeah.
If you had something holding both sides down,
all right, let me try it again. Let me do it this way. Yeah, keep it off the motor. So look at that. I mean, that is a clean cut right there. All right, so yeah, so what would this be good for? Well, let's say you're making purses and you just wanted to make some straps, like a purse strap, right? So we'll turn this thing on again. So let's say you just wanted to make a purse strap, and I want to make, there's a straight edge, and I wanted to make it, you know, you measure off. You can use a marking pen, one of those washable marking pens to mark fabric, and you could mark your lines, and you just got to, you side it up, and you can come over here and just pick out what, you know, what length you want. Let's say you wanted to make a, you know, a 2-inch strap, purse strap. That's a little thick, isn't it? Maybe let's do about 1.5 inches. I'm just going to pull the fabric. Look how easy that was. So, I mean, you can make straps if you wanted to, whatever you wanted to do. And I'm going to show you another use for this. Okay, so you quilters out there, listen up a minute. All right, so I've got my fabric. And let's say that you wanted to make a queen size quilt, okay? You want to make a queen size quilt and you want to do some 12-inch blocks. So what you do is we went ahead and got fabric. Now, if you have a queen size quilt and you butt your blocks up together, now you will have a border, right? But let's just say you just sew all your blocks together.
No sashing.
No sashing.
Yeah.
You're going to have 56 blocks, right? So how awesome would it be to be able to cut all 56 of your blocks with 2 cuts?
Pretty.
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Cool.
Think about it. All 56 squares that you're going to quilt, 2 cuts. So what you do is we've got all of our fabric here. So let me show you. We have it. You see all the fabric, different colors. We just did it all on top of each other. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So we have 8 different types of fabrics, and we're going to cut it in 2 cuts to create us 56 blocks. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So what we did is we went out, and I don't know if you can see this with that camera, Kyle. Y'all see that? We went ahead and centered. We cut 2-inch. We just went ahead and cut our fabric out in 2-inch blocks. And then we're going to come and use the electric cutter now to cut it. And we made our center lines on this. So all you have to do, if you can follow lines, is we're going to turn this on, turn my light on, and we're going to get this ready. And here now I can speed it up. Make sure I'm under the fabric. I may have missed that one. Yeah. I did. I missed one of the colors that went under it. All right, so I made my blocks. Let me recut that. All right. So there you go. Look at, if you wanted to quilt, there you go. You already cut fabric that quick. 56 squares You could cut, and now you can just go ahead and get to quilting. How's that?
Yeah.
So guys, this is the cutter we're talking about. This is a cordless, battery operated cutter. This thing is just awesome. And I tell you, it's got some great features built in. And again, it's from Reliable. This is a brand new product. We absolutely love this thing. And we came to the store, and Lynn, it works in the San Marcos store. She's a big quilter, cuts a lot of fabric. She saw it. She's like, I want one of those. She immediately is like, you know how quick I can cut, fat quarters and cut all the different things she could cut. And she's exactly right. This thing, for a quilter, I think this will be a must-have if you're cutting a lot of fabric, because this thing is awesome. And Lynn also makes a lot of leather purses. And so cutting out leather, and, again, I think if you're a very creative person where you can draw and do things, you could cut all kinds of great shapes out. But just for cutting straight lines like me, cutting straight lines and using your marking pencils, you can mark the fabric. You could cut a ton of fabric out. And again, I mean, look at that, how much that's a bunch of quilt blocks. So that's what you can do. Guys, we have a introduction price on this thing today. The normal price on this is $249. And even we do have a call-in special on it today. Introductory price on this. And again, let me just kind of read off a few things that you're going to get with it. You're going to get the charger that comes with it. You're going to get that. You're getting the 2 batteries. You're getting that extra grinding wheel, as they call it, sharpening wheel that comes with it. You're getting the oil that's going to come with it. They're going to give you that little oil so you can actually put it in that little reservoir. So they're going to give you an Allen wrench that comes with it, because if you want to take the blade off, there's a place you see right up on the picture, that kind of brass looking right in the middle. Well, you come with a key that fits in there that actually lets you loosen that off to take the blade off. However, you have to take that guard off. You see with the screwdriver, you take the guard off, then you take that screw out to take the blade off. But you have to have an Allen wrench. It shows you a place to put the Allen wrench in there to kind of hold the blade so it doesn't turn. So you can actually take the brass in the middle off. So extremely easy to operate. And again, it's got the guard on the front. As you see, that's just your hand guard to make sure you don't get your hand in there. And that's pretty much it, guys. It's extremely simple. And, you get the little charger, they get the extra battery with it. And again, you're going to get a ton of life out of this thing. I mean, you'd have to do a lot of cutting to run the blade out, or the battery out on this. But that's our newest offering today. The battery is extremely easy to take in and out. You just pull it out, and then you just slap your second one in there. If you're doing a all-day cutting, you'd probably go through 2 batteries. But what y'all think? What do y'all think about this? Give me some feedback on it, because I tell you, I hope you're excited about it. This is a new product, and I was like, man, I saw it. I want to have a cutting show today and talk about my favorite cutting, because this is one of my, they have electric scissors. Y'all already seen those before. I don't like the electric scissors near as much as I like this. This thing is just a workhorse, and it'll cut some thick stuff. And, if that wasn't a proof about the leather, I mean, that was some thick leather, and the blade didn't have any problem at all. It doesn't have enough room. You can see right here, it doesn't have enough room to let the fabric go through. So that's what was the only limitation on it. All right, guys. Anyway, that is a call-in special. Call us right now at 800-401-8151. If you're interested in any of the products we showed on the show today, it's my favorite cutting tools that we have. And we have call-in specials on all of it. Great pricing. So give us a call at 800-401-8151. All right. Let's talk a little bit about next week. So if you're interested in the live auction, make sure you go sign up today, because tomorrow Kyle's putting the link in the chat and you'll be able to go sign up. Tomorrow we will email you the list of the products that are going to be in the auction with a lot numbers, and then we're going to be sending you the phone number and the link that you have to go sign up for the show. So next week the show is going to work a little different. You have to have that link to, you have to sign up first of all with the link we got in today. But after that, we will email you the phone number to call. You're going to text your bid in. We're also going to email you a link that you have to go to fill out another form to get into the show. Does that make sense, Kyle? Is that kind of?
That's exactly how.
Yeah, because their show is a different platform than our website. So you'll have to go in there, but we have to have the first sign up page to be able to give you the information. The only limitation is you've had to purchase from Sewing Machines Plus before. That makes you a VIP, and you'll be able to get into the show. We're only letting people who have purchased from us get into the auction. And but guys, we've got some great specials. And again, let me tell you a little bit about the machines. Some of these machines were used, like Kennedy's used some of them before, doing educational stuff, doing demonstrations and demos. Some of them are just our floor models that we have on, for display that they demonstrate on when you're looking to buy a new machine in the retail stores. So we're taking all those. These are all, we're closing them all out, getting, updating them, getting new machines. So we want to have a good liquidation sale. So we thought the best way to do it is just do a live auction. Now, some of them most of them will have a reserve on them, and I will tell you what that reserve is, and then the bidding will start. But some have no reserve at all. And then once that number's hit, I'll tell you the reserve is off. But some of them, we have to have a certain price on them. But some are just going to be, if you bid, $20 and your winning bid, you might get it. But anyway, it's going to be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Everybody should be able to do it. And again, you're going to be able to text your bid in with that phone number. But at least we'll have all the registration prior to that. So just kind of keep a lookout for that email. Once you register today through the link that Kyle put in the chat, you'll just kind of keep your eyes out for a link. And again, tomorrow, the list will go out to those people who are registered of what machines are on the auction block. And then next Thursday, we're going to be coming to you live from our Mission Bay store down in San Diego. We'll be coming to you live from there, from the store. And it'll be a lot of fun. So I can't wait for it. All right, guys. Y'all ready to win some stuff today? What do y'all think?
Do it.
We want to do some giveaways. So we are giving away a $100 gift card. So let's give away a sew mat. So y'all love our sew mats. There we go, right there. They're the world famous sew mats. Guys, these start out at $29.99, go up to $49.99, depending on the size. And you hear me say this every single week. If you don't have a mat for your machine, you're doing your machine a disservice. You need to have a mat for your machine, but we're going to give one lucky viewer one right now. So Kennedy,
yes,
spin that wheel.
Okay.
And all you have to do to win, guys, is make comments. Either make a comment, ask questions, like our Facebook page, or go subscribe to our YouTube page. And there we go, Margie Van Anda. So Margie Van Anda. So congratulations, Margie. She's watching today from YouTube. So Margie, we need you to go to SMP Live, smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of that page where it says claim my prize. Fill out the information completely, and most importantly, in the note field, tell us what size of sew mat you want and what color. Okay. All right, let's give one more of these away. So
right.
Kennedy, spin that wheel again. Roxanne Sexton.
Ooh.
So Roxanne Sexton, congratulations. Roxanne is watching today from Facebook. So Roxanne, we need you to go to smplive.tv, scroll down toward the bottom of the page where it says claim my prize, fill out the information complete, and in the note field in there, most importantly, tell us what color sew mat you want, what size, and we'll get those shipped out probably early next week for you. All right, next up, we are going to give away an LB 5000 sewing machine. Look at that. And embroidery machine. Guys, the original price on this is $999. What a great buy on these. Again, it's a 4x4 embroidery field on this. And we're going to give one of you lucky viewers one of these right now. So Kennedy,
Yeah.
spin that wheel. All right, here we go. It's counting down. Susan Carvelin. Susan Carvelin. Congratulations. She's watching today from YouTube. So Susan, you just won yourself an LB5000 Brother sewing and embroidery machine. It's a 4x4 embroidery area on it. So that is awesome. We need you to claim your prize. Go to smplive.tv. Scroll down toward the bottom of that page where it says claim a prize. Fill out all that information completely, Susan. Hit submit. And once we get that, we'll get your machine shipped out to you next week. All right, guys, another show in the books. And we're so happy y'all joined us today. Thank you so much. And remember, next Tuesday, Kennedy will be on her Takeover Tuesday. Next Thursday is our live auction. So make sure y'all go register right now for that. Kyle put the link in the chat, and do that. And then we'll get, and that way you'll get the list of the auction items tomorrow, be emailed to you. And then early next week, you'll get the link sent for the show, and you'll get the phone number again so you can text all your bids. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss it. It's gonna be awesome. And that way you can get all your products you're wanting on your wish list. But we got some great stuff on there, guys. Really good stuff. So anyway, hope that y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and I will see y'all next Thursday.
Bye.
So long.